Portion of our Phoenix City Council meeting. If you did come for citizens' requests, we will be taking testimony at the conclusion of the formal meeting. We'll begin today's formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council as we do each of our meetings with an invocation. Today's invocation will be led by Chaplain Jesse Esquivel from the City of Phoenix Employees for Christ. Chaplain, please come forward, and if you can, please stand.
Mr. Mayor, councilmen and women, thank you for allowing me to be here. Let's pray. Father, we are so grateful for this time to be here together, Lord. We lift up these matters of business to you. We ask, Lord, that you would guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and in truth. That decisions being made here today would have a successful conclusion and that honor and glory would be given to you. Thank you, Father, to your guidance and direction in our lives. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilwoman Kate Gallego.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio. Councilwoman Gallego.
Here.
Councilman Gates.
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilman Waring.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Valenzuela.
Here.
Mayor Stanton.
Here. We have an interpreter with us. Judy Holm, please introduce yourself for the audience.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Judy, soy intérprete de español. Si alguien necesita el equipo, por favor venga conmigo o con el personal de la ciudad. Gracias.
Thank you. Would the city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances numbered S41998 through S42018 and resolutions numbered 21353 through 21354.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to boards and commissions. Is there a motion to approve the mayor's recommended boards and commission nominations?
Motion to approve mayor's boards and commission nominations.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Is there a motion on city council recommended boards and commission nominations?
Motion to approve city council boards and commissions nominations.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That also passes unanimously. It appears that there are members of the public who are here to be sworn in for their service on various boards and commissions. So I'll come down to my right, your left. We'll swear you in, and then if you'd come behind the dais, and so the individual council members can thank you in advance for your service to the citizens of Phoenix.
He said he's going to try Trent too, but not Sean Martin.
You're official. Thank you, sir.
Hi, congratulations. Thank you for your willingness to serve. I like your necklace. It's pretty. I'm your guy, Mr. Waring. Nice to see you. Yeah, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. No, we really appreciate you doing this. Thank you. Thanks very much for your willingness to serve. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much for coming down. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks in advance to those outstanding citizens for their service to the people of Phoenix. Next on the agenda are liquor license applications. Do we have a motion on the various liquor license applications?
Motion to approve items 1 through 9, except for item 5, for public comment.
We have a motion, we have a second. We have two cards, both in favor of the recommendation, so those cards will be noted for the record. Any comments by members of this council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those pass unanimously. Item number 5 is next. We have a motion on item number 5.
I so move item number 5. Second.
We have a motion and a second in favor of Flower Child. Leonard Clark, you wish to provide testimony on the liquor license for the Flower Child in District 4.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. My name is Leonard Clark here, live in Phoenix. Hey, I just want to say, I normally don't speak on liquor licenses, but Flower Child caught my attention. Usually it's Fred's Pizza, something like that. So, you know what? I strongly support the Flower Child liquor license. It's got a great name for a restaurant. Hopefully they back up the name. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Leonard. We have a motion and a second in favor of item number 5. Any comments from this council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Now we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions, starting with item number 10. Mr. Vice Mayor, do we have a resolution, an omnibus motion for ordinances and resolutions?
Yes, Mayor. Motion to approve items 10 through 34, except the following items. Items 10A, 13, 14, 30, and 34, noting items 10J and 18 have been withdrawn, and excluding these items for public comment, 11, 13, and 21.
All right. Any comments by members of the council? Do we have a second on that motion? Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
We do have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego. Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item is 10A. Do we have a motion on 10A?
Motion to approve item 10A.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Gates, did you have comments
Yeah,
relative to our Alliance for Innovation membership?
Yes, Mayor. I was wondering if we could get just a brief presentation on this item.
Please. Mr. City Manager, do we have someone here to present on the Alliance for Innovation, our city's membership in that organization?
Yes, Mayor. I'll ask Budget and Research Director Jeff Barton and our Deputy Budget and Research Director Rick Fries, who actually does most of our liaison with Alliance for Innovation, just while they're coming up. Alliance for Innovation is a Phoenix-based group that Phoenix has been a member of for several years, and this is the annual membership. Among the things that have happened as a result of our membership, just this last year we hosted 600 members from other cities around the country at a conference in Phoenix at their annual conference, but I'll ask Mr. Barton to talk more about the day-to-day contact.
Councilman Gates, Mayor, members of the council, thank you very much for allowing us to present. The Alliance for Innovation is primarily used by us as a means to facilitate research. So it gives us an opportunity when we're doing best practices and benchmarking studies to reach out and collectively grab those other government agencies and academic societies that collect that type of information. It also gives us an opportunity to look at some of those innovative ideas and trends, which is consistent with what we've been doing with FEES and the Innovation Group, to try and facilitate that number and grow that number, which is a big thing that the council's asked us to do in these troubled times.
And Mayor, just had a question for Mr. Barton. And are these materials and resources available to employees who are outside of budget and research?
They are.
Okay. And is that something that we make people aware of that to all the employees throughout the organization?
You know, we probably haven't done a good job at that, and that's something that coming from this, I'll make sure that we reach out to all of our departments as well as our city employees and let them know that this is a resource that's available, that we can offer it to other folks.
Great, great. No, I'm happy to hear that and appreciate that information. I will be supporting this item, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And that may be a message to our city managers, but to anyone, to make sure that the various departments are aware of the resources available for our Alliance membership. Any other comments by members of this council? We have a motion in favor of 10A. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yeah, so the item passes on a 7-2 vote. Item 11 is next, Vice Mayor.
Motion to approve item 11.
We have a motion on 11, and we have a second. Mr. Leonard Clark. This is, you wish to provide testimony on this item. This is the canvas of the vote for the recently held election in the city of Phoenix. Please.
I just want to say thank you. I'm up here as a citizen. My name is Leonard Clark, live in Arizona. To the citizens who came in for very low pay, that's not why they did it, in District 1, where I could vote for my council lady, Thelda Williams. They were there. I have yet to volunteer, but we owe a debt of gratitude all across the city because we have people, they don't have enough people to man the voting. Whether you're conservative or liberal, the fact that they come there, get up in the morning, go out there and man the voting booths, all of that, that is something that I wanted to thank them for. And I just encourage all my fellow citizens in future elections, please vote. Whether you're a liberal, conservative, or none of the above, you know, it's only as good as when we use it. It's like if somebody gets a broken arm, the cast on the arm, take that cast off 3 months later, that arm is much smaller than the other arm that's been in use because it has not been used. So if you don't use it, we lose it. That's a democracy. To make a democracy strong, in my opinion, you need to vote. So please vote. Even if you're not happy about the system, please vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Barker, did you provide testimony on item 11?
Blue, you'll let Ms. Barker go first? Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. Diane Barker, District 7. And yeah, I had an opportunity to vote on Election Day, and I, like Mr. Clark, believe very much that I know we have representative government, but it can't stand like democracy without an uninformed electorate. And I know our city clerk sent out a lot of early ballots. They could have been voted and even taken on Election Day. And so, you know, I'm saying that the public and the people that live here and that get services and they pay into government, participation is foremost. I also had an opportunity before election to go to the Logic and Accuracy. I was over there at the city elections, and one thing I observed, which I observed back in 2000, there was a different board there, but the Constitution requires secrecy of the ballot. Now, well, I think that that's secrecy of your privacy to vote and nobody seeing the way that you vote or seeing ballots that are open. And there was a Republican, I was a Democrat at the time, and we went and explained that to the city clerk, and Larry Felix said, go to the court, and I ended up in an election contest because at the time it was illegal to open and count ballots before Election Day. Now that has changed, but what I did see, and I think you should look into this, as the ballots were opened before Election Day, this was here in August, they went through a scanner and they went into a trough, and you could stand and look in the window and with a quick eye see a trend on some of the issues that we're voting. To me, that's not secrecy. Plus, the workers that in there, they pick up the ballots that are opened and scanned, and they also could see a trend. So, you know, I think that people should know that.
Thank you, Ms. Barker. Lou Crawley, you're up next. Up to 2 minutes.
Congratulating you on the election is one thing, but then the problems that I ran into that I would like to bring before the council. When I went to vote, I had some problems, so I went to the county first and got everything dealt with, even brought a little number in with me and said, I'm not going to vote provisional. And then it said, I'm here to vote. Well, while I was standing there, an officer came into the polls. I asked, after a few minutes of the person being very intimidating and menacing and such, I looked over at her and I said, ma'am, are you here to vote? Because if you're not, you need to leave the polls. And with that, the inspector, who had never spoke to me at all, they both said that they were staying there, which convoluted that polling place totally. Well, when I went and saw the clerk's office a bit ago to find out what the resolution was of my complaint, because I have been an inspector, I know the sanctity of the polls, and I found out that instead of that man being fired, you kept him there for the 2 hours for the rest of that election and the next day. I was lucky enough to see Mr. Zucker after the incident, and he was helpful to me in that I'm dyslexic, and he did write a name down for me and said, go up to the clerk's office to file the complaint, where I did against both the elections and the officer. Well, when I went up there today to find out what the resolution was, I was told that they wouldn't have been able to get an inspector within 2 hours, so that's the reason he stayed. Unacceptable. If the system's having a problem, you don't compromise it. And then also, when I was there and the officer was there, I asked the 2 clerks, did they have a problem with me? I asked them 3 times during this if they had a problem with me, and they said no on all of them. With the officer staying in the polling place for the amount of time that she did until they said it was legal, validates. And Ed, when I did go up there and complain, they didn't pass it on to
All right, thank you, Blue.
Chapman. So I would like it to be the complaint also filed against, is it Sergeant Minas?
All right, I'll
And,
ask City Manager maybe to get with Blue afterwards. It's obviously an individual complaint, but we're voting on the canvas of the votes here now.
But as I said, well, this
Thank
is
you.
dealing with it, that
Fair enough,
when
but your time is
it's
up.
not done right and
I
it
appreciate it.
wasn't legal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crawley. Okay, so we have, is there any other members of the public who wish to provide testimony on the canvas of the vote for the recent election?
Mayor,
Councilman, please.
I would like to compliment staff. I think they did an outstanding job, and the way that they created the ballot so that it was much simpler, but still provided all the information that the council had requested was an exceptionally good job. So please thank you, Chris, and all your staff and all the people involved.
Thank you very much. Any other comments by members of the council? All right, we have a motion in favor of the canvas. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item number 13. Item number 13 is a public hearing on the initial cable television license for Google Fiber Arizona LLC. So I will now open that public hearing. Within the context of the public hearing, I see our professional staff, our Deputy City Manager, Mario Paniagua, coming forward. Did you wish to provide any information to the council before we take public testimony, please?
Mayor, just really quickly, a brief overview of what's here before you today. Item 13 is a hearing. Item 14 is the action item that follows immediately. It's a request to authorize the issuance of a cable TV license to Google Fiber Arizona to operate a fiber-to-home network and provide high-speed internet and cable TV services to Phoenix. It grants Google Fiber the ability to use city streets and rights-of-way to construct and install infrastructure to provide these services. It sets the regulatory and safety terms and conditions for Google's construction within the rights-of-way and includes non-discrimination and general customer service requirements. The draft license has been available for the last 2 weeks on phoenix.gov. And I'm available to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Paniagua. So this is the time for the public hearing. I guess I really looked at Mr. Holm. It would be appropriate for council members to be able to ask staff questions now or after a public hearing and before a vote of the City Council, which is item 14.
You could ask now, Mayor, as well, or make comments too on item 14.
Okay, so do any members of the council have questions for our professional city staff on this issue? Councilman Waring, please.
Thank you. I guess the only concern would be, if one company is getting treated different than others. I think at least a couple others have contracts in the same sort of area. I just want to make sure that they're going to be treated the same going forward within the parameters that they all have different business models and our relationship with them might be different. But is that a fact as I'm stating it?
Mayor and Councilman Waring, Google would be the third cable TV provider in Phoenix, along with Cox Communications and CenturyLink. Given the competitive market that is now there, staff has informed the other two providers that the City of Phoenix is open to renegotiating their licenses as well, and we'll consider the terms of the agreement that's being considered today in those negotiations.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Councilman Waring. Any other questions, member of the council? Councilman DeCiccio, please.
Again, just to echo too, just to make sure that everything's treated fairly, that there's no basically any disparity between companies. And I think that's been kind of drilled home quite a bit, that we don't want to pick winners and losers. We always want to make sure that everyone gets treated fairly here. Now, they each have different business models, even though they're in a similar industry. And I know that you're working on some resolutions right now to make that work. So however that works, I think you're going to find a council up here that's very willing to make it work for you, to make sure that it's even across the board. And I assume that's what you're striving for. I know you've talked to Cox, I assume you've talked to CenturyLink as well.
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, yes, we have been in communication with both of those providers, and they are looking forward to renegotiating the terms of their agreements.
Okay, perfect. And then Mayor, just as a quick comment too, I mean, I think that you don't ever want to underestimate the importance of high technology. I think it's fantastic Google's coming into this city. I think it's great news for consumers. But if you look at high technology, and competition is good as long as it's fair. You know, you can't have two sides of the equation. You can't say you want competition and then give someone an unequal advantage. That won't happen here. But if you look at high technology and the importance of that, it's directly tied to job growth, it's directly tied to quality of life and growth in our economy. So businesses want to be around high technology. Businesses also hire people because of the high technology in the economy. And I think it's fantastic that they're coming into town, and now we have 3 high-speed providers of this technology, and I think that's fantastic news for this economy, but make sure that we treat everybody fairly.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments from members of this council? Leonard Clark, did you provide testimony on this item of the 2 minutes?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm excited. My name is Leonard Clark, and I live in the city of Phoenix, and I'm very excited like the rest of you. And yes, of course, we want to be careful because in this society, we want to be fair. But the great thing is we all know that with Google Fiber, generally, their technology being 100 times faster than cable. You know, we've all had these problems with Cox and CenturyLink, you know, taking forever, downloading, uploading at our houses when there's a lot of people tired of it. We can have 100 times faster speeds like they have in Japan, like they have in Europe. You know, yes, we should prepare our citizens, like in Kansas City and in Oregon, where they have had this installed, because yes, it's going to take some time. We should be careful, and that's why I'm glad that you're regulating it, because the gas lines, all of these things that are going to come into play. But we are doing something to bring Phoenix even more into the 21st century. Sorry, cable, you better get your act together. This is what we need more of, 100 times faster internet speeds. And like I said, welcome Google. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Clark. I have no other cards for members of the public. Council members, you can provide testimony now, or I can close the public hearing, have a motion, and then provide comments on the underlying motion. So without any other comments by members of the council or the public hearing on item number 13 is now closed. The next item is item number 14, which will be proposal for an initial cable television license for Google Fiber Arizona. Our staff has already provided an overview of that item. Do we have a motion on item number 14?
Mayor, I would like to make the motion on this, but first, I would like to thank staff, Cox at CenturyLink. When this first appeared and we saw what potential was in other city, people got quite rattled. And I am very proud to say that city staff and Cox and Century sit down and really went over each item, worked out thoroughly, because I'm a firm believer fair is fair. They have been in our community for a long time. They employ thousands of people, and I'm very proud to have Cox in my district. I also learned a lot about the cable that they already have, the equivalent to what Google's going to offer. So I applaud them, but I know Google's a hot name and people want it right away. So I'm making the motion to request to authorize the city manager or designee to execute and issue an initial cable television license to Google Fiber Arizona LLC pursuant to Phoenix City Code Chapter 5, Cable Television Licenses. And I want to make sure that included in that is upon Cox or CenturyLink's request, you immediately reopen and renegotiate so that we make sure there's a fair playing field.
I'll second that, Mayor.
We have a motion, we have a second. Councilman Gates, did you have comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm also excited about the possibility of Google Fiber coming into Phoenix, and I want to thank staff for the work they've done, both working with them and then also with the incumbents. And I did want to add, in response to Mr. Clark's comments, that actually Cox has increased their service in a lot of neighborhoods. They have the gigabit service. Not only do they have it in parts of District 3, but they went out of their way to not dig up the streets in Moon Valley during the holidays when we have all the holiday lights. So, I mean, that's really working with the community, and I appreciate it. And I think the competition's going to be great for all the residents of Phoenix. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor.
I also appreciate the motion, and I think it was well stated. I appreciate our partners who have been here in the city for a long time, CenturyLink and Cox. I'm excited to welcome Google. I think overall, competition is good. I appreciate Mario, you and your team. I should say Ed, you and your team. I appreciate the willingness to work with and I'll call them partners, to make sure that everyone feels good about what we have here. At the end of the day, each of us, whether it be Cox, CenturyLink, Google, any city employee here, and of course the council, we're here for the people of Phoenix. And what this is going to do is increase a student's chances for success. It's going to increase an entrepreneur's chances for success. This is good for all of us. So I'm really excited to welcome Google to the city of Phoenix, to enter this market. I feel good, and I'm confident that those conversations and even negotiations will go well with our current partners. But this is a good day for Phoenix, and I'm excited about it, and I absolutely support the motion.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Councilman Nowakowski?
Mayor, I just really want to thank our staff for bringing in the providers and really working out a plan that's beneficial for the whole valley. I also want to thank Google for coming into the valley, and they're going to be a great partner for our community. I also want to thank CenturyLink and Cox for everything that they do and within our community. I mean, especially Cox for everything they do within providing movies in the park for our families. And it's just incredible, the partnership that you have, and just thank you for being a great partner in the city of Phoenix.
Thank you very much. Councilman Gallego?
Thank you. I want to echo Councilman Nowakowski's compliments to our staff. We got a lot of compliments from people on all sides about an open process, and so thank you for that. I am hopeful that this will bring connectivity to more of our city. We still have some expensive to serve areas where there isn't connectivity. And we in District 8, I represent some areas that are very complicated. We have people who live in manufactured housing with underground power lines, and it's very difficult logistically. And so I'm hopeful that with more competition, we will have more service for individuals, and that, as Councilman Valenzuela mentioned, it's very important for young people, the internet that often comes with cable, and the more we can have people connected, the better.
Thank you very much. Any other comments, Councilwoman Pastor?
So I welcome Google to Phoenix. I like to see you in District 4 since I have Cox and CenturyLink located in the technology corridor. And so you're more than welcome to come to District 4. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? I'll just add that we are trying to create an innovative economy here in Phoenix. This council has taken huge steps in that regard, and providing high-speed internet service is going to go a long way to help us to compete, to build that innovative economy that we all want. So I, as mayor, am very happy that Google selected Phoenix and Tempe and Scottsdale to be a partner on this project. I think we've been worthy partners for it. It's been a challenging project. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to our former and still recovering Deputy City Manager, Rick Neymark, and our current Deputy, Mario Paniagua, who stepped in and did great work, did some heavy lifting to make this happen. So Google has challenged us to rethink the way we do business. I think it's been a good thing for the city of Phoenix. Unlike maybe other cities where gigabit service has been offered and there has been some challenge by the incumbents, instead here, our friends at Cox and CenturyLink have reacted just the way we'd expect them to. They embrace the competition, and they've been stepping up their game big time here, providing gigabit service to neighborhoods and small businesses across the city. And my opinion is that is nothing but a great thing for our city and our region. So I know this isn't a final decision here today, but I'm excited at the opportunity that we're taking this step, and I hope that Phoenix continues to be a great partner to both Google, CenturyLink, and Cox as we work together to build a stronger, innovative economy here in Phoenix. All right, with that, roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item number 21. Vice Mayor?
Motion to approve item 21.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 21. Mr. Leonard Clark, did you provide testimony on item number 21? Item number 21 is acceptance of grant funds from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As a citizen, I just want to tell you I'm very concerned. I understand Black Canyon Freeway down here is probably under the state jurisdiction. We have, the Arizona Highway Patrol patrolling it. I'm going to say something right now that all politicians in both political parties would never do, because I guess you guys consider political suicide, and that is, I really lament the fact that we don't have the speed cameras. Now, I've just made enemies with you and everybody else watching, but the fact is, the Black Canyon Freeway coming down here today, the new speed, if it says 55, it really means 65, 70. Now, I know that one of our former governors, Janet Napolitano, had a lot of criticism, but I will say this, she supported those cameras. Because, and if I'm wrong, fine, the next meeting, I would like to have you direct staff or somebody to find out what are the actual statistics from the Governor's Highways Office, because I know this pertains to impaired driving, occupant safety, fire department protection. I just want to find out about the speeding. It's crazy. Look, I'm like you. I'm not a saint here, okay? So I know all my law enforcement friends, we're going to get Clark, maybe he's out there speeding, but it's become like the Indy 500 on the Black Canyon. I actually like the red light cameras that you have here. I know a lot of my friends who are against big government. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, I bet you if you look at the statistics right now, because people are speeding so much, we are having many more fatalities. But I could be totally wrong, so I'm asking that you would maybe research the statistics on that. But being an activist, I don't have to worry about that. I know it's an unpopular thing, but could you do something also, spend some of this money on making citizens of Phoenix aware about the I-17, that we don't have to go 80 miles an hour because we've been shortchanged by the state legislature who don't feel we need enough officers to patrol our state highways. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. We have a motion in favor of 21. We have a second. Roll call.
Mayor,
sorry,
I just
Councilman,
have one
please. I
quick-
apologize.
Yeah, we do have
Vice
members.
Mayor, I apologize.
We have members from the Phoenix Fire Department here, and I want to publicly thank our Phoenix firefighters, every member from Chief Cockbrenner to the probationary firefighter who's on the job. When you see lights and sirens, the emergency has already happened. I'm speaking as a firefighter. When you see lights and sirens, it's already happened. The honorable thing to do is to try to prevent it from happening in the first place. And Phoenix Fire truly is second to none in the country when it comes to fire prevention and fire and emergency prevention, I should say. And I appreciate the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for making these funds available. And of course, thank you to Phoenix Fire for being so bold and going out and the programs that are already in place and the innovation that continues to take place really puts Phoenix Fire in the forefront when it comes to being able to receive these grants, because there is a plan, and you do such a good job of looking for more areas to be involved in, so that at the end of the day, we are preventing the emergency from happening in the first place. So congratulations, and thanks for all your efforts.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item number 30, which is a proposed amendment of the public transit fare policy. Do we have a motion on item number 30?
Move approval.
We have a motion. We have a second. Councilwoman Gallego?
This is an exciting vote to continue a partnership that began before I was here with U.S. Airways Center, where if a resident has a ticket to a U.S. Airways Center event, they can ride the rail for free. And I had an opportunity to be part of an event with some of our senior citizens who said this was possibly their favorite program at the city. So a great partnership with Valley Metro, and thank you to Councilwoman Williams for your leadership there. People said, they don't love driving in our downtown sometimes at night, and they loved riding on the rail. Sometimes their grandchildren gave them strong coolness factor for taking them on the rail to events at U.S. Airways Arena. And I've learned that, particularly at the Camelback Park and Ride, that we have a lot of people parking there and taking a free trip downtown with their family to be able to enjoy events. And since I represent some downtown apartments that were at one point had traffic blocked on all four sides of them, any cars we can take out of downtown is a win for our downtown residents, who will have a little bit of an easier time getting home. And understand this is nationally a unique program, so just wanted to congratulate public transit staff, the Arena, and Valley Metro on this.
Thank you very much. Councilman Waring, you had comments or questions?
Yes, just a question. So I did ask about this in advance, and you guys sent me an answer, and I think I left it at my last meeting. But am I right? So this is not taxpayers picking up the tab for the tickets. This is the teams picking up the tabs for the tickets? Is that just so people at home understand?
Ms. Hyatt?
Mayor and Councilman Waring, I actually have John McCormack, who's the Chief Financial Officer for Valley Metro, who'd be happy to answer that question.
Thank you, Councilmember Waring. Yes, the fares are actually paid by the U.S. Airways Center, the Phoenix Suns, whoever is sponsoring that particular event.
Great. Thank you. Just want to make sure people are clear and so forth. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions by members of the council?
Mayor?
Councilman, please.
Too, about the funds that it generates. My understanding is between $300,000 and maybe $350,000 a year, approximately.
Councilmember DeCiccio, yes, that's correct. It's about $370,000 a year.
That we
That's
generate?
correct. Yes, collected through the tickets and the funding that comes through the U.S. Airways Center to Valley Metro. Correct.
I just want to make sure that got in the record too, Mayor.
That's great. Any other comments by members of the council? Questions?
I guess,
Councilman Waring,
sorry,
please.
just
Go ahead.
one comment. So we don't recover all the costs of the fares. Fare recovery only covers, 47%, I think, last year on light rail. So this would help in some small way offset that.
That's correct, Councilman. And in fact, what this does is it estimates in the number of rides that each attendee who uses rail takes. So instead of even just assuming that they're just taking it from their home to the event and then back, this actually calculates in a 2.2, anticipating that they're going to go, some of them are going to go have a drink or eat and instead. So it does recover the full fare cost of the price, which, as you said, Councilman, is a portion of the fare recovery.
We're going to be running these routes regardless. They're not just for the stadium, so it's certainly good to recover more costs rather than less. So I'm going to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman, do you have? Okay. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item 34. Do we have a motion on 34?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Gallego.
This week we had 2 nights of very difficult monsoons, and the first night hit South Mountain very hard. We're about marking a year since some more difficult monsoons last year, where there was 4 areas in my district and the county islands in the area where people's homes were flooded inside. And this is a very important project in diverting water that would otherwise go towards homes in 2 of those areas. So I just wanted to thank our city staff, who continues to meet very regularly on flood issues, and thank you to our city manager for his leadership in that area. I think this is a real success for our community, and we will have people safer in their homes as a result of this flood control project. So thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you very much. Any other comments by members of this council?
Mayor.
Councilman, please.
Mayor, just this week we had heavy rains, and Levine was really prepared. I just want to thank the leadership of Councilmember Gallegos for really organizing that community out there and working very hard to making sure that we as a city are prepared for the monsoons and heavy rain. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item on the agenda are planning and zoning matters, starting with item number 35. Vice Mayor, do we have motions on planning and zoning matters? Just hold out 37A.
Motion to approve items 35, 36, and 37, except 37A.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Motion on 37A.
Motion to approve item 37A.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman DeCiccio has noted a potential conflict and will not be participating. Roll call.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes unanimously, noting that Councilman DeCiccio did not participate. There are no further items before the City Council. Councilman Waring, you have...
Leonard Clark had asked for some data on item, I forget which item.
Okay.
I can send it to him, or I can answer.
Okay, so yeah, please get to, yeah, we know, we have his contact information, so you get it to him. Okay, great. Okay, so without any other business before the City Council, this meeting is adjourned. We do have some additional cards for citizen request.